There are many aspects I love about anime, but something I deeply love is the fact that anime often tells story about people who've been through painful things, especially in childhood. And one thing anime does very well is show how those early experiences can leave deep emotional scars that stay with the person for years. Of course, I'm not saying that anime is the only medium that explore trauma. Many dramas, film, and series around the world have done it too, and they've done a really good job. But anime has a special way of blending emotion, art, and storytelling to make the pain feel very real, even in fantasy settings. So let's go more in detail. What exactly is trauma? In psychology, trauma refers to an event or a series of events that overwhelms the person's ability to cope. It makes someone feel unsafe, powerless, deeply hurt. When trauma happens in childhood, it can hurt the emotional development of the person, damage trust, and even change the way they see themselves and the world. Some people also have something called PTSD, which is related to trauma, obviously. PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, is a mental health condition that happens after living through or witnessing something very terrifying, like abuse, violence, or loss. Symptom includes flashback, nightmare, trouble sleeping, emotional numbness, and being constantly on edge. When trauma isn't healed, it doesn't just disappear. It can show up later in anxiety in relationship, anger, deep feeling of emptiness, and many more symptoms. And this is where anime shines, by showing character not just as survivor, but as real people shaped by their past. Now let's look at how anime bring those psychological ideas into life through characters who feel raw, human, and deeply relatable. These characters don't always cry or talk a lot about their trauma directly, but there are so many signs in how they speak, love, fight, or try to protect themselves. Here are three powerful examples of childhood trauma in anime and how they still affect the character as they grow. In Kaguya-sama Love is War, Kaguya looks like the perfect girl. She's calm, smart, and respected, and always in control. But beneath that image of the perfect girl, there's a girl who doesn't know how to be loved. She grew up in a rich, powerful family, but not a warm one. Her father was cold and emotionally distant. She was praised for her grade, her manner, her image, but never for being herself, which is called emotional neglect. It's when a child's basic emotional needs like comfort, affection, and attention are completely ignored. And even if no one yells or hits, the silence is so hurtful. Because of that, Kaguya doesn't know how to be emotionally honest. She wants a connection, but she's completely scared of it. She turns love into a power game, not because she's mean or evil, but because she's afraid. Vulnerability is something that feels like danger to her. If she says I love you first, she feels like she's giving up control, and she's never been allowed to lose control. Psychologically, it's often seen in people with avoidant attachment style. They want closeness, but they feel unsafe being open. Even though this show is a complete comedy and it's an amazing rom-com, Kaguya's struggle is real. It shows that a child can have everything on the outside, money, status, and respect, but still grow emotionally starved. That kind of trauma doesn't scream. It's not all over the TV show. But at some moment you realize she was deeply affected by that. It shapes everything, especially how she sees love. Denji, the main character of Chainsaw Man, has one of the hardest childhood in the entire anime. After his father died, Denji was left in extreme poverty, trapped in death, and forced to kill devils for money. He sold his own organ to be able to survive. As a child, he was used, ignored, and pushed beyond what any child should be able to handle. This is more than just, a bad childhood. This is really a case of chronic neglect, physical abuse, and survival-based trauma. It fits into what psychology would call complex trauma, where a person experiences repeated harm over time, especially coming from people that are supposed to protect them. Denji's emotional world is shaped by trauma. He doesn't just wish for love, success, or celebrity. He dreams of a toast with jam and a bed to sleep in. His goals are very basic because he was deprived from even the simplest form of comfort. When someone shows attention to him, like Makima, he attaches instantly, which is literally scary if you watch episode 1. It doesn't take long for him to be completely obsessed with her. This is a known trauma bonding. It's when a victim feels emotionally tied to someone who also harms them, because in their brain they link pain with love. Denji's sense of self-image is also very fragile. He jokes, he flirts, he fights, but beneath all of that is just a boy who feels empty and confused. He struggles to know what he wants, he struggles to know what's good, what's not good, and this is reflected by his childhood that was as unstable as he is. Denji may have devil power, but he's still a broken boy just trying to survive. One Direct Priority is a powerful anime about teenage girl who took their own lives. The emotional pain they carried before making this choice. The character Ai is given the chance to save their souls by entering a very strange world where she faces the monsters created by their trauma. Each girl has a different story. Some were bullied, some were abused, some felt intense pressure caused by school, and others were essayed. But at the end of the day, they all suffer. And the show doesn't just focus on one kind of trauma, it shows many different ways young people can suffer, and sadly, often in silence. What makes this anime so realistic and heartbreaking is how it shows that when trauma is not faced or supported, it can grow outside of someone until it becomes too much. Many of those girls in the show didn't have anyone who truly listened to them. They were judged, ignored, or forced to be strong. The anime doesn't try to sugarcoat the pain. It shows that even when emotional wounds are left untreated, they can lead to deep depression, anxiety, and self hate, and sometimes even taking your own life. This is the darkest side of trauma. Not that it's just painful or that it's not fun, but the fact that it can literally destroy people. One Direct Priority reminds us that trauma is real and that support, love, and listening can sometimes be the difference between life and death.